I'm not the best one to answer that.
We know that, but you still have the opportunity.
It's a real mix. Can I put one name to it? No. It all starts with the traditional Celtic style and branches out. So what is it? I really don't know. What is it? No, I mean that. Like what would you, world music, Celtic, you know, there's a little rock in there, there's a little country in there, a little classical.
Siobheann grew up playing the fiddle, and she played the fiddle her whole life. You still play, right? You still play. And so when someone hears her play the bass, they're like, what are you doing? They've never heard that style of bass playing. She's playing the way a fiddler would play, but that's being moved to the bass. So it's a different style. What is it? I don't know what it is.
It's one of the most difficult questions we're asked. And as you can hear, we don't have a clear answer. And I always go to what other people understand. So people understand Celtic. Okay, well, they hear Celtic in what we play. But other people they'll hear jazz. They'll hear classical. They'll hear country.
So let's get on board a rocket ship, non-stop until we circle the moon. Let's float across the sky and see the world from a hot air balloon.
They'll hear rock. And those are the styles that we hear. So when we go to answer, we never want to put ourselves in one of those categories.
We come from the Celtic Music Foundation. Dad played fiddle, Mom played piano, step dancing, so that is the root of what it is that we play and do. But living in Lakefield, Ontario, we had access to quite a diverse range of musical styles. Close to Toronto, we performed in Toronto quite a bit. And then the US, of course, is right there. Mom and Dad loved, as well as traditional music, classical. So we, of course, were taking classical lessons, violin and piano. Naturally, those sorts of influences are going to emerge and find their way into whatever the style of music it is that you're playing. And then we were exposed to popular music as well. So Frank particularly likes rock music and more than that, but his drumming style is influenced a lot by that. So then you mix that in with Siobheann's fiddling bass style, and then there's
Frank's
this...
a lefty too, so I'm sorry for, but for that sound, right? The left hand, a different influence.
And also, sorry, Frank.
No, I get compliments about my left hand, and then I get negative comments about my left hand.
So Mom and Dad also had a good friend who played in their band. His name is Colm Quigley. He played the accordion. He was from Ireland. But Colm, so he played a piano and a button accordion, you know, those big ones. And he also played sort of like international accordion. It wasn't just Irish accordion. So he would be playing some Spanish pieces in our home. He would be playing some, you know, Hungarian folk music, Parisian, France, you know, music from France, and Scotland and Ireland. And so his presence in our home also exposed us to this sort of international view of, we'll say, folk music and some popular music as well. So that had a big influence.
Most of what we play is by ear, which also translates into anything that we make a decision or choice on, it's because of feel. You know, there's no equation to, or
box to satisfy. Everything about what part you put down is if it feels. At some point in the development of a piece of music, you'll know if it feels right. And like, I'm sure most musicians feel that way, you know. But that has been a common denominator and theme through everything. You gotta feel things to know when they're in the right place.
Songwriting happens in a variety of different ways in this particular group. A song could be written by one person from start to finish. It could be started by one person and then shared with another, or brought to the group and, you know, sit around playing or discussing, sharing lyric ideas. If a song is 75% completed, but there's a verse that needs to be touched up, then we would sit together and just throw out ideas and lyrics, and then they come in that way. It's very good. It happens every way. Sometimes the melody is written prior to the lyrics. Sometimes it's a lyrical idea that then, you know, there's a mood that's created just by the lyric, and so then you would go to your instrument and try to give the impression of that mood through the music. So how else would you say, is there any other?
I think songs are different to instrumentals in that obviously the song, the melody, and the lyric. And like as Erin said, I think we would all approach it differently, but eventually it always does have to come back to the band, and then you work it up. I will touch on this about the songwriting too. I find a lot of the writing has been heavily influenced by the fact that we learned instrumental music first. And with our step dancing, our sensibility to rhythm. Highly, highly influences how we write or what we write. I think that's interesting. As far as instrumental music, I think it happens several different ways because, you know, you sit down and you write a tune, Siobheann and backline and rhythm, vibe, interesting approaches or chord progressions or whatnot.
Every piece of new music, it goes through the washing machine of the group, playing it together and spending time with it. Siobheann might respond to something somebody else has written, but her response becomes very important in the writing process and usually the end result. And that's true of everybody on their different instruments. And so there is a stage where it goes through the band and then it can really take a different shape or form.
It's always interesting to see where a piece starts, where it goes, why does it do that, what is it that you're following when you're composing, and those questions can't always really be answered, which is okay.